I lied about my natural bodybuilding show, The Truth. It's a video by Hussein Farhat. For those of you who don't know who this is, he's the hottest fake natty in the industry as we speak. Apparently he did a natural bodybuilding show, but other contestants revealed that they weren't even drug tested. Now, I've been saying this for years. There's no such thing as natural bodybuilding.
Anabolic Stick, I'm Connor Sinan, and I want to bring you along to drug test Hussein, and I will pay for everything. So here's my offer to you again. I'm down to get tested whenever you want, and if I fail that blood test, I will give you $100,000.
Doesn't prove anything. Could easily be a retroactive fake natty. Once you touch the substances, your natty card is revoked, kind of like your virginity.
But if I pass the blood test, I want you to make an apology video and finally admit that I'm not a fake natty. You literally have no reason not to accept Connor's offer now that he said that he'll pay for everything. Now put your money where your mouth is, and it's not even your money, and come here to
He is natural, he was just on Turk Builder Max.
Montreal and test me. The ball is in your court. I know you're a big fan of giving the people what they want, and everybody wants to see this. Now, this is where it gets fun.
Yeah, John Jones passes drug tests.
Why didn't you make sure that Hussein was natural before you sponsored him and put it as part of your company, HLT? Here's the answer.
This kid is obviously taking a lot of stuff.
Hussein Farhat, scamming tens of thousands of people.
I don't think he's that.
And even AI doesn't believe that this guy is natural.
Hussein's fake claims to be natural.
Kid is obviously taking a lot of stuff.
1 in a million.
So, I got called out again.
I feel like this is just manufactured shitness industry rage baiting. And Greg Doucette sits at the top of the pipeline selling harder than last time supplements with Hussein over here. Nobody actually gives a fuck if he's natty or not. They just don't like lying.
So 2 days ago, a guy named Anabolic Stick made a video on me. Apparently this time it's because I lied about my
Holy chicken broccoli and rice!
natural bodybuilding show being a drug-tested natural bodybuilding show. Now, before we get into this, let me make one thing clear. The whole reason why I started posting on social media in the first place was to inspire people to start their fitness journey, to help them reach their dream physique, and to stay natural by showing them what I was able to achieve.
Yeah, dude. Totally. 1 in a million genetics, bro. I too discovered how to lift weights at 19 years old.
Naturally. Basically, something I wish I had when I kept delaying my fitness journey as a teenager. I really don't like to post these drama videos because in my opinion, they don't provide any sort of value to the viewer. And trust me when I say that I've had multiple chances to clap back at people calling me out before, including someone who just happens to be mentioned in this exact video, but I decided not to until today. And you'll understand exactly what I mean later on, so make sure you watch the whole video until the end. So yeah, today I'm going to be absolutely destroying every single person involved in this video, and I wish I didn't have to do it because like I said, it's not like me to do.
Dude, I'm quaking in my boots. He's gonna absolutely destroy everyone in this video, dude.
These types of videos, but when people are straight up lying and coming after my hard work and my natural transformation, which goes completely against why this channel even exists, I have no choice but to answer. So yeah, today's video, I'm going to be reacting and responding to Anabolic Stick's latest video titled Hussein Lied About Natural Bodybuilding Show. Now here is something that is important to note. Before dropping this video, Anabolic Stick made a post on YouTube, and here's what he said. Just wanted to say that
my timbers have been shivered.
In the middle of making my Greg response video, I've been contacted by a very credible individual, alright? Very credible individual, keep that in mind, it's going to be important for the rest of the video, with some pretty damning information regarding Hussein Farhat. Not trolling lol video will be up tomorrow or the day after. Alright, so now that we've covered everything you guys need to know, let's start this video.
So I made a video about Hussein Farhat being a fake natty, which absolutely took off in the algorithm, prompting both Hussein and Greg Doucette to respond. When they both responded, one of the main points they brought up was that Hussein Farhat competed in a natural bodybuilding show, so therefore he must be natty. A guy named Sharief commented on my video.
I can't listen to guys with broccoli hair. It's a good rule to live by.
Regarding Hussein mentioning the natural bodybuilding show, I competed in the same show, same stage, and nobody got tested. A guy even told me afterwards he was on SARMs and
he's wearing glasses, so he must just be a research-based lifter utilizing the newest scientific approaches to getting ripped as fuck. Yeah, he's nippered pilled. He uses macro factor to track his meals.
competed in the show. Natural shows don't mean much.
Alright, by the way guys, this is the very credible individual that reached out to Anabolic Stick and told him that he had like insider information on me. This is the guy that has been training, from what he said, for 13 years naturally, all right? Keep that in mind. It's going to be important for the rest of the video, but this is basically the guy saying that I've been basically lying about the natural show.
I replied to his comments asking him to DM me on Instagram, and when he did, these were the messages he sent me. He showed me the picture of him at the same show as Hussein and said, "That was me at the show. Nobody was tested. It was all bullshit." I gotta mention, King Kong Classic has 2 days of competing. Friday is open, which means that
The King Kong Classic? It's a show for gorillas?
enhanced, and Saturday is the natural one. Me and Hussein both competed at the natural bodybuilding show. You get charged for testing, but they don't test shit. They put all that money straight in their pocket. They had a little room with a couple of women with water bottles, pretending they would randomly pick people to test them, but it was all for show because we had paid for it. But as far as I'm aware, nobody got tested. Furthermore, a guy that competed on the natural stage told me he isn't a lifetime natural. He didn't place well, but I don't want to mention his name, so please respect his privacy.
Alright, so basically here the guy is saying that he competed at the same show as me and that nobody got tested. And he also said that a guy after the show told him that he was on SARMs and he competed in the same show as me and Sharief. And then he says natural shows don't mean much. And then he proceeds to say that the King Kong Classic has 2 days of competing. The enhanced one is the first day and then the second day is the natural one. Natural, alright? And he said I did the natural with him and that we basically got charged for getting tested. You know, there was a $50 charge per class for the test, you know, the drug test, and that the whole show just put that in their pocket, alright? This is what the guy said. So here's what actually happened. There's 2 shows exactly like he said. There's the enhanced show and there's the natural show. Obviously, I applied for the natural show because I saw that it was like advertised as being drug
Because you're small.
tested. You know, I picked it, I was expecting to get tested, I went to the show, and I paid, like I said, $50 per category, and I did 8 categories in total, alright? Which means I paid a total of $400 for the show just to get drug tested. So tell me this, let's say you see 2 shows, alright? One of them you don't have a drug testing fee, the other one you do have a drug testing fee. If you decide to pick the show with the drug testing fee, you would obviously expect to get tested, right? So I went on stage, won 7 medals in total, but never got tested. And the issue I have with this whole video was the fact that the guy is basically saying that I lied about the show being drug tested when it's literally advertised as being a drug tested show. It's not my fault if the show decided to cheap out and not test every single person that applied. That's why I chose the show. And just to give you like extra proof on the fact that I haven't been lying about the show being drug tested, tell me why I said this on a podcast.
Was it a natural show?
Yeah. Natural.
Natural?
Yeah.
What was that? So they tested you?
No, they didn't.
No, wow.
They didn't for that show. They say it's tested, but I didn't get tested.
So basically what you just saw was me
So
on
they lied?
a podcast with Brody and Luke, to which they asked me about the show and they asked me if I got tested for that show. This podcast was posted 2 months ago, alright? This was 2 months ago, before the guy even first made his video. I had never been called out before.
Doesn't matter though, because even if you get tested and you pass, that just means that you passed the drug test. That doesn't mean that your physique is natural.
And I literally said on the podcast, and I made a joke about it, I was like, natural bodybuilding show. But yeah, basically I was expecting to get tested for that show, which is why I picked it, but I never got tested. And it's out there public on a podcast, so do I find it unfair? I totally do. But as Sharief just said, there was literally people that admitted of not being lifetime naturals that were in the show. And he also said
Hussein literally used the show to prove he was natural, then he backtracked when he got exposed.
that they didn't even place well. So that means I was on stage with enhanced people that I beat. If everybody was tested at this show, I really think that I would have won at least 1 overall class. But again, it's not my fault, like I said, if the organization decided to cheap out and not test every single person in the show. And again, your whole point of me lying about the fact that I was tested is absolute bullshit, because you literally have proof of me 2 months ago on a podcast saying that I didn't get tested. So that basically covers this whole video that he did. Now, this is where it gets fun. So the main person backing the fake Natty accusations is someone named Sharief, a guy who's been training for 14 years and that lost to me at the show. And he's also the same guy who before the show made a Natty or not on me, where he called me a fake Natty and also called me a scammer.
Pretty much straight lying in people's face, and people are even more discouraged because then they try their programs and they're like, whoa,
this is not happening in 2 years. It's not happening ever. It's not. Just use your eyes. Yep, Hussein Farhat was sitting on a gold mine of the genetic lottery for hypertrophic development. He just happened to look like a literal twink his entire life. Many such cases.
get us anywhere. Straight BS. Hussein, yeah, I'm calling them out.
So Stick was telling the truth that people didn't get tested. Yes, that's correct.
Basically said that I faked my transformation and that I wasn't getting any sort of results for my clients without any proof. Now again, fake Natty is totally cool. I'm kind of used to it at this point. I really think it is a compliment, no problem. But then saying that I'm scamming my clients and that I'm not getting them any results is kind of crazy. And that was basically a few months before the show. And then what happened is we bumped into each other at the show whilst we were getting our spray tan. I didn't really recognize him at first. I'll be totally honest. I saw him, and the main reason, all right, I'm not trying to roast him. I'm honestly being honest with you guys. I swear to God, I didn't recognize him at first. And the reason is because he was a lot smaller than I saw him in the video.
Brutal.
So, you know, he was extremely small. I was like, all right, this is just a random guy that's competing in the show. And he was acting extremely friendly. So I was cool with him, no problem. I didn't even recognize him. But then after we got the tan and we left, I got a DM from him on Instagram where he said, let's go, saw you this morning, haha. We all wanted to pee, best of luck, brother. So basically when we were in the room, it was extremely cold and I wanted to pee and he wanted to pee as well. So we just made a joke and he DM'd me that. So I was like, oh damn, that was actually him. That was the guy that made a natty out on me, called me a scammer, and now he's trying to be friends with me, all right? And I also screenshotted the message and sent it to my brother because I thought it was really funny that he was acting all friendly after everything he said about me. And then at the show, exactly like he said, we competed in the same category and I absolutely destroyed him.
Yeah, this is just creatine.
As you can see here, I got first place and he got 9th at a natural show that we both paid to get tested at. Then he went home, ranted about his whole experience.
Is he supposed to fight you? Is it supposed to be on site?
Basically said he almost cried.
I was almost gonna cry after, trust me. It is what it is, you know, the flights. I should never have flight, never fly, man. Why did I fly?
And also in that video, he said I was a great guy.
And I'm not making any excuses. Even if I would have came in at my all-time best, Hussein, he would have still won. He looks amazing and he's got the shape, the proportion, and he's a great guy. We spoke a bit backstage.
Why would he call me a great guy if he thought that I cheated in the show? Like,
Hussein looks normal now. Yeah, it's almost like people cycle on and off.
he just came out and said all of these things about me, the fact that the show wasn't tested. He also just released a video on me saying that I'm not natural. Why the fuck would he call me a great guy if he thought that I lied and that I was competing against him and cheating? Then after the show, what happened is I posted my show day on YouTube and on Instagram, to which he commented on YouTube, congrats bro, good meeting you, hope to see you at the show again next year. Why would you want to see me at the show next year if you know I'm not natural? Explain this to me. Come on bro, make it make sense. And on Instagram, he commented, congrats bro, good meeting you, enjoy the cookies. And someone replied to that comment, you made a natty or not video and he was one of the dudes you didn't believe was natural. And he responded to that comment and he said, I know, I do believe he is now after seeing him. So let's be clear. First off, I'm not natty, all right? He made a natty or not before the show, said I'm not natural. Then he meets me in person, says that I'm a great guy, that he thinks I'm natural, and that he hopes to see me at the show next year.
Hussein just has top-notch genetics like all black American athletes. Yeah, he's got BBC genetics.
And now that the drama is getting clicks and that, I'm all talked about, he makes a video on me again and says that I'm not natural.
Yeah, Sharief, kind of weird. Lil sus. That doesn't take away from the fact that Broccoli Head over here is most likely lying for views.
Pretty much straight lying in people's face. Hussein, he looks amazing and he's got the shape, the proportion. Straight BS. Hussein, yeah, I'm calling him out. And he's a great guy. We spoke a bit backstage.
This is the guy you choose as a very credible source. The guy changed his mind 3 times, and also now that I go on his Instagram profile and click on messages, guess what? He deleted the messages. So that's basically for Sharief. You're an absolute clout chaser. You tried to be friends with me when we met up at the show. You DM me, you put comments on my page. I never replied to you because, again, I'm not fake. I always say the truth. You're trying to critique me, say that I'm a scammer and that I'm not natural. Then we meet up in person, you're trying to be all cool and shit with me. What are the chances he's the one that comes out and talks about the show? Everything, this is God's plan. When you're saying the truth, God wants to favor you, and this is exactly what's happening here. So like I said, I have all the receipts, all the screenshots. You can go on my post. If you go on the post that I posted, LA.
So what he's doing right here is attacking Sharief as the credible source, right? Which, sure, but it doesn't take away from the fact that my 3 eyes don't lie. I know what I'm looking at.
Dump, and it's a picture with Togi and Shizzy. You can find his comment on that post, unless obviously he's probably gonna go and delete it now. But yeah, you can go and see it. I have a screenshot, I just took it. So yeah, bro basically changed his mind 3 times in total, and that's his very credible source. Come on, bro. Come on, do better. The guy also just dropped a video on me, like I said, and natty or not, basically going over the situation. He literally says at the beginning of the video that he's hopping on this wave for the views.
Like, what are we talking about? I just wasn't born yesterday. The only people who believe this is Natty. I was going to say retarded 12-year-olds, but I think they would even know.
As you guys know, the drama in YouTube gets more views, and it's a little bit sad because you need to get on those waves of drama and stuff sometimes to get a little bit of views, but it is what it is.
And he was right. It's his best video ever. It basically destroyed all of the ones that he's posted before. He posted 800 videos in total, and the video about me is his best performing one. So the guy is so relevant that he has to mention me in order to get views. And yeah, that was basically his very credible source. But now this is where it gets interesting. So after watching the video, I went to the comment section and I found this comment. We have Connor Sinan who said, if you want, I'll pay for any drug test for you since you can't afford to drug test Hussein. I'll have you overlook the whole thing. I drug test him myself, but since I'm friends with Greg, it may look fishy, so let's get you involved and make some content, bro. And then after that, he made a post on his YouTube, and in that post, there's literally an email where he says, hey, Anabolic Stick,
But the blood work doesn't even matter. The drug testing doesn't matter. He could just be off cycle. This could be months in the past. He could have juiced the first year, the first 18 months, the first 2 years. We don't have any sort of baseline to compare it to.
Connor Sinan, I would like to get you involved in Hussein Farhad drug test. Basically, I can...
Oh, look, I have a test showing that I was clean in this one specific moment that happens to be current day.
Fly you out, or...
Show us the balls. Let's see the atrophied nuts.
We can FaceTime or something, and I want to bring you along to drug test Hussein, and I will pay for everything, every test, and we will figure out if he's natural. I will make the money back with the...
It's gotta just be cardio with no hands, right? Maybe San Pellegrino? Damn.
Content, so don't even worry about it. Let me know if we can do this. The reason I'm involving you is because I know you would never lie. So, now that we've absolutely removed this whole reason that you made in the first place, which was I don't have the money to pay for the test, Connor just said
it's so impossible to argue when the transformation happened 2 years into.
he's willing to pay for the test, fly you out here to Montreal, where I live, to do the test. So here's my offer to you again. I'm down to get tested.
But like, it doesn't even work if what you're testing for is not what he's taking. We're gonna pretend that synthetic compounds don't exist, that are just undetectable.
Whenever you want. You can come here tomorrow if you want to, bro. And I will get tested with you and Connor. And if I fail that blood test, I will give you $100,000. But if I pass the blood test, I want you to make an apology.
These blood tests are just IQ tests. You don't think bodybuilders know this?
Video and basically apologize for everything that you said and finally admit that I'm not a fake Natty. You literally have no reason not to accept Connor's offer now that he said that he'll pay for everything. So yeah, now put your money where your mouth is, and it's not even your money. Connor's gonna pay for everything, and come here to Montreal and
he's on that CBR cycle.
Test me. The ball is in your court. I know you're a big fan of giving the people what they want.
It just bothers me that he's the quintessential like Zoomer Sarm Goblin fake Natty archetype. Like broccoli hair. Is that a perm? How do you achieve this? Is he progressively overloading his head?
And everybody wants to see this. It will do content for me, content for...
Has a BMW.
Connor, content for you as well, and we will finally have the truth for the people. And you know, you made the first video less than a week ago, so I wouldn't even have time to hop off if I was actually on steroids like you said. So yeah, now that you have no excuse whatsoever to come and test me, I'm waiting for you, bro. And you know what? After we do the blood test, we can go have a workout together and just be friends. You know, we'll just call it a misunderstanding because I already know I'm gonna pass the blood test and people are still gonna call me a fake Natty regardless.
So a lot of people have asked, why didn't you make sure that Hussein was natural before you sponsored him? Here's the answer.
1 in a million.
I asked Hussein to submit blood work with no notice. He did and he passed. Every time I call out a fake Natty, like Dana Lynn Bailey, Michael Hearn, Ashton Hall, these guys, they don't submit their blood work. They just shy away from it.
So yeah, there you have it, guys. I won't be addressing this drama again because I feel like this is basically what everybody wanted to see, and we basically have it right now. And if the guy decides...
Shit's all rigged. I mean, this is content for infants in the shitness industry.
To back out and not do the test, they all gonna know that he's just here to get some views and he's not trying to prove any point. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Make sure you use code Hussein on HGLT subs if you want to grab the best.
I'm being sold to. I can't escape Greg Doucette.
supplements in the world. This is Blue Lobster, Greg's pre-workout, and you can use code Hussein, like I said.
Yo, he named it Blue Lobster. I'm weak.
To save 15% off. And also make sure you check out Momentous. It's our new clothing brand with me, Eric, and Greg. We're gonna be dropping late June, hopefully. Make sure you click on the link to join.
I'm so tired of just all these influencer slop businesses, fucking Alibaba clothing lines worn by twinks with inflatable muscles, man, and these powders and these pills. Fuck, it's all so tiresome. Now we got Anabolic Sticks response to Hussein Farhat. Hussein Farhat proves that he's ... an idiot.
Alright, so Mr. 1 in a Million Genetics responded to my video where I called him out for manipulating his audience by using a quote-unquote drug-tested competition that he competed in, where he and none of the contestants were drug-tested as proof of him being natural.
You make good points, but what about Hussein competing in a natural show and winning? Yeah, what about it, bro? You didn't mention the show. Like, we're just gonna forget about it? Nobody wants it? Like, we're just sweeping it under the rug? Like, what are we doing?
He went on to make a response video where he basically thought he had a gotcha moment.
How? Look at this fucking picture, bro. Holy shit. People are so stupid.
But he just ended up looking incredibly stupid and doesn't actually make a single point in the video. Let's get into it.
So yeah, today I'm going to be absolutely destroying every single person involved in this video, and I wish I didn't have to do it because like I said, it's not like me to do these types of videos, but when people are straight up lying and coming after my hard work and my natural transformation, which goes completely against why this channel even exists, I have no choice but to answer.
So right off the bat, this guy starts yapping, thinking he's some kind of anime villain, talking about destroying everyone that was involved in my video. Well, let's take a little trip to your
He did do that.
comments, Hussein. Let's see how well you destroyed the people involved with this video.
But if you didn't get tested, why did you use it as an argument for being natural? He doesn't realize how bad this makes him look. All these fake natties just skip brain day. All of what Anabolic Sticks said is true. You did use natural bodybuilding competition as an argument yourself and are caught now. But yeah, I did a natural show. Did you get tested? No. Oh, okay. Just checking. But I did the natural show, though.
You're such a cornball, bro. So he basically
Doesn't roids literally melt your frontal cortex? Yeah, something like that.
says that we lied in my video, and then for the duration of this video literally proves that not a single lie was said. I'm not making this up, believe me, just keep watching.
So yeah, today's video I'm going to be reacting and responding to Anabolic Sticks' latest video titled Hussein Lied About Natural Bodybuilding Show. Now here is something that is important to note. Before dropping this video, Anabolic Stick made a post on YouTube and here's what he said. Just wanted to say that in the middle of making my Greg response video, I've been contacted by a very credible individual.
Trying to convince others is wasted breath. That's right.
Alright, very credible individual, keep that in mind, it's going to be important for the rest of the video, with some pretty damning information regarding Hussein Farhat. Not trolling lol video will be up tomorrow or the day after. Alright, so now that we've covered everything you guys need to know, let's start this video.
Okay, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase. The credible source I was talking about is Sharief Saad, a competitor that competed alongside Hussein in his quote-unquote natural bodybuilding show. Hussein and Greg were parading that bodybuilding show around as proof of his natty status, and then Sharief came out and revealed that no one was actually tested. This is pretty much all that Sharief says. His only claim is that no one got tested, which Hussein then goes on and admits in his video.
But can he play any sports? No, dude, he discovered lifting at 19 years old. He had no idea that he was sitting on 1 in a million genetics. What don't you understand?
Yet he tries to portray Sharief as not being credible simply because he was friendly to Hussein before. Again, not making that up. Let's continue with the video. So I made a video about Hussein Farhat being a fake natty, which absolutely took off in the algorithm, prompting both Hussein and Greg Doucette to respond. When they both responded, one of the main points they brought up was that Hussein Farhat competed in a natural bodybuilding show, so therefore he must be natty. A guy named Sharief Saad commented on my video regarding Hussein mentioning the natural bodybuilding show. I competed in the same show, same stage, and nobody got tested. A guy even told me afterwards he was on SARMs and competed in the show. Natural shows don't mean much.
Alright, by the way guys, this is the very credible individual that reached out to Anabolic Stick and told him that he had like insider.
No one even cares if he does roids, just stop lying about it to promote your stupid, unrealistic brands and supplements. Yeah, that's the whole point here.
information on me. This is the guy that has been training from what he said for 13 years naturally, alright? Keep that in mind, it's gonna be important for the rest of the video, but this is basically the guy saying that I've been basically lying about the natural show.
So he basically starts alluding to Sharief not being a credible source. He does his little anime villain smirk while he sees Sharief pop up on the screen, and he starts edging his audience towards some incredible gotcha moment that completely invalidates my video.
Alright, so basically here the guy is saying that he competed at the same show as me, and that nobody got tested. And he also said that a guy after the show told him that he was on SARMs, and he competed in the same show as me and Sharief. And then he says natural shows don't mean much. And then he proceeds to say that the King Kong Classic has 2 days of competing, the enhanced one is the first day, and then the second day is the natural one. Natural, alright? He said I did the natural with him, and that we basically got charged for getting tested. You know, there was a $50 charge per class for the test, the drug test, and that the whole show just put that in their pocket, right? This is what the guy said. So here's what actually happened. There's 2 shows exactly like he said. There's the enhanced show and there's the natural show. Obviously, I applied for the natural show because I saw that it was like advertised as being drug tested. You know, I picked it, I was expecting to get tested, I went to the show, and I paid, like I said, $50 per category, and I did 8 categories in total, alright? Which means I paid a total of $400.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ad hominem as clear as day, where you attack the source's credibility. It's a logical fallacy.
For the show just to get drug tested. So tell me this, let's say you see 2 shows, alright? One of them you don't have a drug testing fee, the other one you do have a drug testing fee. If you decide to pick the show with the drug testing fee, you would obviously expect to get tested, right? So I went on stage, won 7 medals in total, but never got tested.
So he basically argues that while he didn't get tested, he thought that he would get tested, and so that proves his natty status. Well, consider this, Greg Doucette was his coach during this bodybuilding show. Greg was the one that told him to compete. Greg is a Canadian IFBB pro and was a judge on numerous bodybuilding shows. As I proved in my previous video, it is widely known that the CPA, which is the organization that runs this show, does
I will bet you $50 this is the Canadian Physique Alliance Natural Pro Qualifier. Their testing is a complete joke, and not every winner even gets tested. They've been obviously rewarding cheaters for years, so nothing is being done to discourage it. If anything, people feel more empowered to take the easy route to the IFBB because history has shown that no one will stop them or even try. Not directed at OP either, just a general observation. It is the CPA, LOL.
Does not test their winners. If anyone would be aware of this beforehand, it would be Greg Doucette. So what are the chances that Greg told him to compete in this show because he knew Hussein wouldn't be at risk of drug testing? Now, even if what I just said didn't happen, it is widely known that the testing done at natural shows are complete garbage. I've heard from a lot of people that they usually don't even test for anabolic steroids and only test for recreation.
Why even test? Just open up the floor to everyone and everything. Take as much compounds as you want. This false precedent is just asinine.
Drugs.
And as a PNBA pro, a natural bodybuilder pro, as myself, not anymore, but I was, I can verify with 100% accuracy that 90% of the shows are not tested, even though they say they are tested. Or if they are tested, like at my show, you're doing a urine test, and it's not for anabolic steroids, it's for recreational drugs. So kind of doesn't matter.
So natural bodybuilding shows are already bullshit in general, but the point of my video was to show that you have no qualms with lying to your audience, be it indirectly and manipulating them, by continuously using a quote-unquote drug-tested bodybuilding show as proof of natty status, heavily implying that you got tested when you never did. You conveniently completely avoided pointing out that you never got tested. You're just simply a
So what's the point? To win a plastic trophy and sling more supplements than Greg Doucette himself. Everyone's chasing these sponsorships and affiliate codes so that they could buy an overpriced car, flex it on social media, and then run out of money within 2 years.
Honest guy. You've been continuously using the show as quote-unquote proof, knowing that you never got tested. And now you're trying to use a 5-second clip of a podcast you did months ago where you admitted you didn't get tested.
Stand on stage with other oiled up and tanned men. That's the goal. Yeah, I mean Elise.
To imply that you've always been truthful. If you were truthful, you would have mentioned this in your video alongside the numerous times you referenced this quote.
You know what? I'm pretty sure some of these idiots are dumb enough to get that shit on finance with an insane interest rate. Yeah. This is my new Audi R8. No money down. 700 month term. At 57%.
Quote-unquote natural drug-tested competition as proof of your natty status. But you didn't, because that would basically invalidate your entire argument. If your fellow competitors never came out to call you out on your lying by saying that no one got tested, then this clip would also have not resurfaced and you would still be saying to this day, why aren't you mentioning the drug-tested competition I did? That's proof of me being natural.
First off, I'm not Natty, alright? He made a Natty before the show, said I'm not natural. Then he meets me in person, says that I'm a great guy, that he thinks I'm natural, and that he hopes to see me at the show next year. And now that the drama is getting clicks and that, I'm all talked about, he makes a video on me again and says that I'm not natural.
Pretty much straight lying in people's face. Hussein, he looks amazing and he's got the shape, the proportion. Straight BS. Hussein, yeah, I followed him out and he's a great guy. We spoke him backstage.
This is the guy you choose as a very credible source?
Well, yes, he did in fact appear to be a very credible source because everything he said was true. He claimed you didn't get tested, and then in the same video and in the podcast clip, you also admit that you didn't get tested.
So I went on stage, won 7 medals.
Did he lie though? No.
In total, but never got tested.
So how does any of this prove that he's not credible when you've literally proven that he in fact is credible by confirming everything he said?
So I went on stage, won 7 medals in total, but never got tested.
This whole pitiful attempt at character assassination would have worked if you hadn't yourself admitted that you didn't get tested.
So I went on stage, won 7 medals in total, but never got tested.
But you prove his credibility by admitting that everything he
Very interesting.
said was true, but then somehow tried to paint him as not being credible.
This is the guy you choose as a very credible source?
Because he was nice and friendly to you and didn't want to be confrontational.
If you can get 7 medals at a single competition, are they even worth anything?
By calling you a fake natty to your face. This entire video is just so stupid. Leave these response videos to Greg. You're just continuously making yourself look dumb.
That's basically for Sharief. You're an absolute clout chaser. You tried to be friends with me when we met up at the show. You DM me. You put comments on my page. I never replied to you because, you know, again, I'm not fake. I always say the truth. You're trying to critique me, say that I'm a scammer and that I'm not natural. Then we meet up in person. You're trying to be all cool and shit with me. What are the chances he's the one that comes out and talks about the show?
Well, he wasn't really the only one. 2 other competitors, the latter of which was a top 5 contestant, also came out to say that you didn't get tested.
Hey bud, my name is Yusuf. I don't want to seem too nosy regarding Hussein Farhat physique as everyone is talking about it now, but I did compete with him, and I uploaded a video today highlighting everything that happened. My only concern is people expecting to be like that naturally in 3 years, and we all know it's not possible.
So like I said, I have all the receipts, all the screenshots. You can go on my post. If you go on the post that I posted, LA Dump, and it's a picture with Togi and Shizzy, you can find his comment on that post, unless obviously he's probably gonna go and delete it now. But yeah, you can go and see it. I have a screenshot, I just took it. So yeah, bro basically changed his...
He's got striations on his tricep. Totally natty, bro. 2 years.
Mine 3 times in total, and that's his very credible source. Come on, bro. Come on, do better.
Do better? You've literally proved his credibility by saying yourself that you didn't get tested, which is literally the only claim that Sharief...
The thing is, all these little bodybuilding competitions don't pay anything. It's not a career. The career is in the IG and coaching, which is what they are chasing. So who cares about the integrity? Yeah, but they use the competitions as social proof that what they're selling, aka their training and supplements and clothing, work.
We've made.
So I went on stage, won 7 medals in total, but never got tested.
Hussein, you're not really the sharpest tool in the shed, are you? Isn't there a correlation between steroid use and the killing of brain cells? His stupidity in this video might honestly just be the thing that proves definitively that he's a fake natty. The guy seems to only be in possession of 2 brain cells that are fighting for dominance to try and form a coherent thought. So that's basically what the entire video is. Hussein throws a hissy fit because someone came out and called him out on a lie. The entire video is just Hussein trying to commit character assassination on Sharief, all because he left a couple of nice comments on his Instagram after the competition, but then called Hussein out on his lie when he saw Hussein implying that he got drug tested at the competition they both competed.
This is just repeating itself over and over and over and over. We have heard the same story 10 times in this one video.
He didn't slander Hussein, he didn't insult Hussein, all he did was call Hussein out on his lie. Since Hussein dropped this video, I've heard that Sharief has been getting a bunch of nasty hate messages on Instagram and even through email from Hussein's fans, so to anyone watching, I'd really appreciate it if you could go to his Instagram or to his YouTube comments and just show the guy some love and support, because all he did was correct a lie and he truly does not deserve the hate.
But now, this is where it gets interesting. So after watching the video, I went to the comment section and I found this comment. We have Connor Sinan who said, if you want, I'll pay for any drug test for you since you can't afford to drug test Hussein. I'll have you overload the whole thing. I drug tested myself, but since I'm friends with Greg, it may look fishy, so let's get you involved and make some content. Now that we've absolutely removed this whole reason that you made in the first
99% of the comments defending the fake natty status is even more infuriating as the fake natty itself. Many such cases.
place, which was, I don't have the money to pay for the test. Connor just said he's willing to pay for the test and fly you out here to Montreal where I live to do the test. So here's my offer to you again. I'm down to get tested whenever you want. You can come here tomorrow if you want to, bro. And I will get tested with you and Connor. And if I fail that blood test, I will give you $100,000. But if I pass the blood test, I want you to make an apology video and basically apologize for everything that you said and finally admit that I'm not a fake natty.
Well, Hussein, as I said in the video I uploaded yesterday, I've already been talking with Connor for days, and just yesterday gave him all the stipulations that would have to be respected if I were to agree with this. Accept these terms and I will fly out to Montreal, and after 6 months, accept the $100,000 that you owe me.
I don't know if I enjoyed it, but I did consume it.